Welcome back to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed, and this is Steve Solo's 7 Days to Die Alpha 19, Episode 18. I am still down in the mines, and still have a broken arm. But it is daylight out, so it's safe for me to move around again. So I can go and do something about that now. You know, hopefully. I'm gonna kill this zombie first, though. Actually, let's use the crossbow for him. Missed. There we go. Fortunately, only my arm was injured, so it shouldn't be too difficult to run back to my main base where I have some splints. I think. I hope. Okay, here we are. Now, if I remember correctly, the splint should not heal the arm instantly, and it shouldn't completely remove my penalties, so it still should be a little bit difficult for me to do some things. I should be slower at stuff than usual. However, it speeds up the healing. So this 1 hour, 46 minute timer over to my left should drop significantly once I use the splint. Yes, that has been replaced with a arm and a cast instead, which probably means it's harder for me to hurt myself, although I can still re-injure the arm, and it will be a shorter time until I'm healed. Yes, a splinted arm is better than a broken arm, but it's still hurt. So I need to be a little bit careful about what I'm doing until that is healed. Which means I should probably avoid any building projects today, since, as I discovered in the last episode, the secondary action with the hammer, which is how you complete or upgrade blocks, still counts as a power attack. At least I came back from my mine with plenty of coal, which was the objective, so it wasn't for naught. My options for what I can do for the first half of this video are a little bit limited by the fact that the arm is still broken, so I'm going to try to take things a little bit slower for the first half of the episode. Fortunately, I do need to work a little bit on the farm today. It should be harvest day. And I can also get this forge making some bullet casings for me. I'm going to need lots of those for the future, so it never hurts to start building up a supply, especially since I have way more brass than I would usually expect to have by this point in the 7 days playthrough. I only have enough brass in there right now to make 150 some, but I'm just going to start with 100 at a time. I'm going to put some extra fuel in so that the forge will just keep running and melting down the scrap brass and lead that I already have in there. Once I hit craft, that will turn the forge on, and the forge will stay on until it runs out of fuel unless you turn it off. I'm also going to grab the rest of this lead that I have and put that in there. There. Now that will run on its own. And while it is doing that, I will go down to the farm and check on things there. Everything at the farm appears to be going quite smoothly, except for the fact that the goldenrod and chrysanthemum plants in this row are the only things still in the growing stage. Everything else is done, including the corn plant that was always the odd man out before. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I might have planted those a little bit later than everything else, so maybe they will finish maturing later in the episode. But for now, I'm just not going to worry about it. I am going to go ahead and harvest everything, and after I do that, I brought with me all of the produce items that were just lying in my chest up there to make sure that whatever I need to make seeds of, I have enough of it here to do that. Okay, that's everything down that is finished growing. I have 2 more spots for blueberries, so I'm going to make 2 blueberry seeds. I have a bunch of yucca fruit stored up and another farm plot for yucca plants, which I have never put anything in. And I've never really added any more yucca fruit, or I should say yucca plants, to that row. I probably should have quite a while ago. But I'm going to do that now, especially since I've set up a secondary base in the desert. Yucca is going to become more useful. I found that I already had some cotton seeds sitting in a chest up at base. So I'm going to put those 3 out, and then I'm not sure if I'll have enough to make any more right now. No, I don't. So that'll be good enough. 2 more corn seeds. 1 more coffee seed. And then I have 1 more seed of aloe vera to plant, and a goldenrod, and 2 more chrysanthemum. If I can get them to plant. There's 1. Come on, there we go. 7 Days to Die's controls get a little more fiddly than Minecraft's, but nothing's perfect. I am not going to disturb the chrysanthemum plant that I put at the end of this row that's supposed to be goldenrod, because it's still growing. I don't think I have enough goldenrod for another seed right now anyway. No. So, I think when those 2 have finished growing, I actually will have enough seed for another goldenrod plant, but by then the chrysanthemum should also be finished growing. I'll check back in on the farm again in another couple episodes probably. For now, I will have to find another project to occupy me for the next 20 minutes while my arm continues to heal. And I think what I'm going to do is go over to the pillars and see what else I can do around there. I know those are going to need a little bit of patching up. The next zombie horde should be on day 35, so we've got a while, but it's around the middle of the week. It's about the time that I should start paying attention to those and making sure they're in decent repair for the next horde night. The pillars are in a bit worse of a state than they were for the last week, but they're still not too bad. I have seen much worse. One thing I probably will do a little of as this episode continues is continue crafting cobblestone in my inventory so that I can repair these, replace these flagstone blocks, and get these towers back to full strength. And I will probably try and make enough that perhaps in this week, but maybe it won't be until the next week. That is, of course, in-game week, not real-life week. I am able to build a few more towers. I don't remember if I've mentioned this in a video before, but I expand from a 2x2 square of towers to a 3x3 square of towers. So I want to put up 5 more around this side, or along this corner where I'm kind of standing. I have no idea whether I'll be able to make enough cobblestone for that in the remaining time before the next horde night, but I'll at least give it a shot. I can get more than none before the next horde night, that much I'm sure of. One thing I actually remembered on my run back from the towers was that I have a skill point to spend right now, and that means that I can buy the 3rd level of the Demolitions Expert perk, which is the perk that gives you access to the stack recipe for making gunpowder. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that, and I'm going to immediately take advantage of it by crafting gunpowder in a stack instead of individually. So what that means is I can make 1,000 gunpowder only using 800 of each ingredient. Usually, well, the normal recipe would be 1 gunpowder using 1 of each of the ingredients, so to make 1,000 would take me 1,000 of each. You do have to put quite a bit of fuel into the chemistry station because it takes a while, 27 minutes for the recipe, and, well, it also means that your chemistry station will be tied up for 27 minutes. So make sure you can afford for it to be so before you do this. But we don't really need to do anything else with the chemistry station at the moment, so gunpowder it is. I'm going to come up here and pull the brass casings out of the furnace also. Since I'm wanting to follow the demolitions expert skill tree a little bit anyway, and I still have about 5 minutes to go before my arm is unbroken, I may as well come down here and look a little bit at the recipes for the landmines, since I would like to try those out. I believe I can craft either the tin or the hubcap landmine. I'm not sure how much damage any of these do, though. I think I might have to craft one of each to be able to find out. Yeah, looks like it. But it's worth a try for each of them, so I will try and craft at least one of each, which means I need some loose iron, some gunpowder, nails, duct tape, and for the hubcap version, a little bit of forged iron. I think that I have most of those. Yep, there's the nails, there's the forged iron, got some duct tape, got some gunpowder, and loose iron would be upstairs, which is fine because I need to go upstairs and put the rest of my farming supplies away, or farm products. I guess it's a little bit of both. Either way, I need to put them away. Up here I can grab a little bit of loose iron, and I guess I'll grab some clay soil since I'm out of clay soil at the moment and I need to keep making cobblestone rocks. Alright, here we go. Let's make one of each of these and then we will see what they can do. Well, they can explode. We already knew that, but you know what I meant. Well, that's interesting. It looks like their stats do not include a rating for how much damage they do. I guess the only guide to determining which one is more powerful, then, is in which one requires the higher level of the perk to be able to craft. Which I believe is the hubcap landmine. That would make sense also because forged iron is a little more valuable a resource than loose iron, and you only needed loose iron to craft the candy tin landmine. But I guess I'm not going to get the chance to exactly test that until I put them down. Let's see what we can do about that. It is late enough in the day that my arm is healed now, so I am going to run around in the snow a little bit looking for some lumberjack zombies. I know there's got to be a few around here somewhere. The only question is where. Well, that's typical. I finally found one, and it's right next to a bear. Alright, well, it'll still serve my purposes. Maybe. Oh, well, it's not going to serve my purposes now. I'll just wait here and kill the survivor. The bear is the survivor. And then there was one. So much for testing my landmines. Thanks for nothing, bear. Alright, well, I'll have to pick out a different method to test my landmines. What I will do is I will go back to my regular base, and I'm going to set up a couple of probably 5x5 pads of wood frame blocks to set out a mine in the center of. And during the night, I will try to lure other zombies over the center of each of those. And we'll see what happens. I'm also curious to see what the explosion radius of each type of landmine is, because that will determine whether or not I want to put them in between my pillars. Matter of fact, I may actually make the test pad size 7x7, because whether or not the mine explosion damages the third block out, so the edge blocks, would indicate whether or not it's going to damage my pillars if it explodes in between them. So, let's have a drink. And set some more wood frame blocks to crafting. We're going to need 53 more, I think. And lay out our pads. Alright, it's almost nighttime. Let me just see if I can upgrade all of these before night falls. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, I'm not sure I have enough wood left to upgrade all these, so I'm just going to upgrade the ones around the edges, and the one in the middle where I'm going to put the landmine. And night has technically fallen, and I'm only done with the first one, but that's okay. Probably. You can never quite tell with 7 days to die. There. Both landmines out on their test pads, and if I happen to hear any zombies tonight, I will come out and try to lead them over the landmines. And if none show up, well, then I'll have to wait until a different time to try that. However, my heat map should be stronger here than anywhere, so presumably, this is the most likely place for zombies to show up. The zombies haven't shown up yet, but I'm pretty sure that I just heard the chemistry station shut off, which means my stack of gunpowder should be done. These resource stacks you can keep stacked up this way and store them like that. Usually the stacks of whatever resource stack up to 5, which means you can store basically five full stacks of whatever it is for one inventory slot. 1,000 gunpowder if I unstack them or open the stack. I believe that is as much as you can have of gunpowder in a single inventory space. So if I pull this gunpowder out of this chest, yeah, okay, it starts a new stack there instead of combining with the old stack. I'm not sure if you can put these back into a stack. No. Looks like gunpowder you cannot do that with. I don't have the ability to use resource stacks for the mineable materials yet. I need to find Art of Mining Volume 5 to be able to do that. But once you have it, you can craft and break down those stacks. Gunpowder, you can craft it as a stack in the chemistry station, but once you open it, you can't put it back into that format. So, be careful of opening them when you don't actually need to use that much gunpowder. Right now it doesn't really matter for me because the other stack of gunpowder is only 34. As soon as I make something with gunpowder, I'll use that up. Christmas is coming up soon, and apparently the zombies have decided to bring the silent nights early because none of them have shown up at all tonight. Rather inconvenient timing since I actually had explosives I wanted to test on them tonight. But, oh well. I'll have to test these mines the next time I get a chance to do that. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like on this episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.